Hello students, welcome to my channel, and in this video we are going to discuss the 10th standard English paper pattern and time management. Now I know most of you, when you start preparing for your English exam, you may have a lot of questions in your mind such as, where do I begin, ma'am? How do I prepare for my English exam? Is there anything to study in English? Now I know some students have accepted it as a fact that there is nothing to study in English. English में पढ़ने के लिए कुछ रहता ही नहीं है. So today, when we discuss the paper pattern, time management, you will get a clear idea on how you're supposed to start preparing for your English exam, right? Now students, your paper is for 80 marks. But have you ever wondered how these 80 marks are divided? Yes, in simple words, I can tell you that the English paper is divided in two parts, language and literature. Now what do you mean by language? Language simply means grammar questions such as non-finite verbs, clauses, simple compound complex, direct indirect, and several others. Vocabulary concepts, compound words, collocation, synonyms, antonyms, etc. Writing skills such as letter writing, speech writing, view and counter view, and so many others. And literature simply means prose and poetry, the poems and the lessons from your textbook. Now students, language is for 52 marks out of 80 in your paper, and literature 28 marks out of 80. Now that means language is very important. So how do we start preparing? Now for that, let us know what kind of questions can you expect in your paper. So we'll discuss the paper pattern and the time management. Now we start with the first section, the first question in your paper, section number 1, language study. Now in language study, question number 1A, you will get 5 questions and you will be expected to solve 4. So each question or each sentence will be for 1 mark. So 4 into 1, it equals to 4 marks. Okay. Question number 1A2, you will get 3 questions. You will be expected to solve 2. So this again is for 4 marks. तो यहाँ पे एक question का weightage कितना हुआ? 2 marks. Now question number 1B. Language study again. This is for 2 marks. So you'll get 1 sentence for 2 marks. You can complete this entire section within 10 minutes. Now the next one. Section 2 is a textual passage. Matlab a scene passage, a passage that you've read, a passage that you have studied. Your question number 2A, a textual passage for comprehension, is for 10 marks and you are expected to complete it within 15 minutes. Here in question number 2B, again, another scene passage, another passage from your textbook. For 10 marks, you complete it within 15 minutes. Now, just because it's a scene passage doesn't mean that you will not get grammar or vocabulary questions. In section 2, you will get language questions for 8 marks. So, in the first scene passage, you will get grammar vocabulary for 4 marks. Second scene passage, again, grammar vocabulary for 4 marks. Now, moving on to section 3. Now in section 3, which is poetry, you get a poem for comprehension, which means a scene poem. A poem that you've read, you've studied, and you'll get it for 5 marks and you can very easily complete it within 10 minutes. In question number 3B, you get a critical appreciation, which is again for 5 marks and you can complete it within 10 minutes. Right? Now moving on to the 4th section, a non-textual passage. Now what is a non-textual passage, students? It is an unseen passage. So here a non-textual passage for comprehension is for 10 marks, but you will get 20 minutes over here. Now why the difference between a seen and an unseen passage time limit? Because a seen passage, you already have read it, you know the story, so you don't require that much time to analyze it. But here, because it's an unseen passage, you need that extra 5 minutes to study it, to analyze it. So 20 minutes here. In question number 4B, you have to write a summary of this non-textual, this unseen passage for 5 marks and you have to complete it within 10 minutes. Even though it's an unseen passage, you will get grammar vocabulary questions for 4 marks plus the summary writing topic for 5 marks. So language in section number 4 is for 9 marks. Now the next section. Now here in section 5, language skills. The first question is letter writing. So you get a choice between formal letter and an informal letter for 5 marks and you can complete it within 15 minutes. The next question number 6A is information transfer. This is again for 5 marks and you complete it within 15 minutes. Here you get a choice. between non-verbal to verbal or verbal to non-verbal. What do you mean by this? It means from a diagram to a text or from a text to a diagram. Now question number 6b is a choice between view and counter view and speech writing. What is view and counter view, students? Where you have to write your opinion in the form of a paragraph either for or against a topic. This is also for 5 marks and you complete it within 15 minutes. Language over here in this section is for 15 marks. Now the last section is creative writing. So question number 7, expand the theme for 5 marks, 15 minutes. So either you expand a proverb, a maxim, a quotation, slogan like go green, save planet earth, save water, or handsome is as handsome does, Rome was not built in a day, or you can write a report, a news report based on the given headline. So about an event or an incident. Now the last question is develop a story or you narrate your experience. So here you'll have to be very, very creative, imaginative. So they'll either give you the beginning line or the ending line. And this is for 5 marks and you complete it within 15 minutes. So language in the last section is for 10 marks. Now students, if you add up the time, you've completed your paper by following this time management in 2 hours, 50 minutes. You still have 10 minutes in hand. What do? You review and recheck your paper. You go back and read all the answers that you've written. If you have any doubts, so you can sit with that sentence, you can think about it, you can try and solve it. If you miss something, you can try and fill up the answer over there so that you'll get 10 minutes in hand. So therefore, your total paper for 80 marks and you complete it within 180 minutes. That's 3 hours. Now students, I truly believe that excellence requires us to prepare in advance. Since you know the paper pattern, you know grammar, vocabulary, creative writing का weightage बहुत ज़्यादा है. I expect that all of you will start practicing. You'll take up extra grammar assignments. You'll start solving creative writing topics. Now what will happen if you do this over a period of time? You will improve. The more you practice, the better you get. All the best. God bless. If you have any doubts, please type it in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye. Keep smiling.